I remember watching my dad, he's doing the barbecue, but he would just eat anything. And when my mom passed, because my mom passed probably 10 years before my dad, remember I told you my sister that was vegan.
Hmm.
My other sister, she became vegan. And my parents was, one of those families where mommy did everything. She cooked, she was and daddy just sat back and, she
Right.
took
I
care
got
of him. So he don't know how to cook, he don't know how to do anything. So when she passed, lucky for us, my parents had moved here to Atlanta and we lived right next door to each other. Right. So I remember saying to daddy, well, I'm cooking. It's me or Renee. It's one of us that's going to be cooking. And he was like, okay, because I don't think he understand the concept of not eating meat.
Right.
So I would cook and give him dinner. He'd say, "Oh, Michelle, I don't. That chicken you made last night was so good." And I said, "But like, I didn't make chicken. It was funny, right?" But I wasn't gonna make him. I wasn't gonna fight. If you know a Jamaican man, I wasn't gonna fight with him.
All right.
But he just kept saying, the food is so good. The food is so good. I still didn't make the connection to where I am now. But I remember saying, watching him, and he had started walking a lot more. He had a dog and he would start walking like maybe 4 miles. I don't know why he wasn't exercising when my mom was alive. I don't know. And he was eating the food that I was cooking. He lost his big old belly.
Mm.
He wasn't drinking alcohol anymore. And he was this close to being on insulin. Right. That's how bad his diabetes was.
Right.
And he's, Michelle, I don't know what you're giving me, but when I went to the doctor, they said I don't have to take anything anymore. Whatever you're doing, keep doing. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. So it's there's all these instances that kept coming to me. Again, I didn't know where I am now. All that it was helping me get here. And I
Right.
just remember thinking, wow. But, daddy ended up getting a girlfriend and they started eating out and he gained the weight back. And now his diabetes came back and he didn't want to listen to me anymore. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's what took him.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what a
Yeah.
man. That's you got an opportunity to do something that I think people don't often get because, okay, so for example, when I started learning all of this stuff, I told my dad, I told my mom, because I'm like, we just had my brother, my mom's brother. He was my favorite uncle. He passed away from cancer. He was young. He was in his 50s, early
You
50s.
see what I'm saying? It's getting
And
younger and younger.
yeah, and so I was telling the family, I'm like, look, I figured it out. I understand it now. And my grandma is a huge health person. She's taught
Oh,
health to the church, but people weren't really listening to her as much. And so and she's 92 now. I think she just had a birthday.
whoa.
Um, yeah. So clearly what she talking about worked. But I told her, I was like, look, I need you to change your diet. I went to her house. She lives in Ohio. And I threw
Mhm.
all of her stuff away, kind of like what you said, cleaning out
You
the
have
cabinet.
to.
And, she started losing weight. Her hair started turning back black. She had a bald spot that filled back in. Health started to increase. And then
Yeah.
after a moment in time, she kind of started going back to old ways and started kind of
Yeah.
gaining the weight back a little. And I just wish that she lived here so that I could just cook for her and just make sure that she's doing
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Same thing for my dad, but it's like you can't, it's really hard to get them away from those old habits.
It's an addiction. It's tradition. It's very, again, being Jamaican, my dad would look at me like if I was like, well, I'm not eating that. He's like, how could you not eat it? It's like I was hurting him somehow. How could you
Yeah.
not eat it? And I'm like, well, daddy, it's just not healthy for you. Well, I've been eating this. All my friends eat it and they're okay. And I'm like, you're not okay. Like, you're not okay.
Right.
Having to take medication every single day is not okay. That is not the norm. But again, it's like I said, it's tradition, it's knowledge, and it's also just lies. People
Mm.
think that as you get older, this is supposed to happen. You're supposed to have this decline. And, again, everyone looks at me. They're like, "But Michelle, I thought you were in your 30s." And not just look. It's
Mhm.
it's the way I move. I'm flexible. I'm like, because you don't have to. The information is there. Just open the book, Google. It's all there.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, people get angry. I mean, I know I'm on YouTube. I don't know if you ever looked at some of the comments. People are angry at me. They're mad because
I haven't looked at your comments. People are mad at you? What are they saying?
Oh my God. They just tell you you're supposed to eat meat. What's wrong with you when you die from deficiencies?
Oh,
Like I'm good. I'm good over here. I'm not gonna die from deficiency. I mean, they're mad at me. You know,
that's the
how
thing.
dare, and I've never told anyone you have to go vegan. And
Hmm.
never. All I said is put a little bit more vegetables on the plate. You know, I'll suggest maybe have a fruit. You know, there's people that just don't drink water. They don't eat
Right.
vegetables. They don't even eat fruit.